Welcome to the Bloody Married podcast, where we talk about all things horror while drinking a Bloody Mary. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Tami. And we are totally married. We got our Bloody Marys, and tonight we are talking Scream 7. The news we've got so far, and our theories and predictions.
And with us, we have a totally rad special guest. He is a Wes Craven expert, especially with the film Cursed. He's a podcast regular, Shaun Springer.
Oh,
Hello,
I'm
welcome
so
back.
excited to talk mostly about Cursed.
We really do need to have a whole podcast
and time
on Cursed,
permitting,
I'm just saying.
Scream 7.
If there's ever anything Scream, you're here.
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of things Scream.
Yeah,
I know.
well, we haven't done a podcast in a while, which
Yeah.
we said in our last episode. So it's been, months and months since all this stuff has started happening?
It's also been a year since a bit over a year since we've done a Scream podcast.
Yeah,
Because
wow.
we would have done it March of 23.
That's
Oh,
true.
right.
So it's like, 1 year and 2 months.
Yep.
Damn. It doesn't feel that long ago, but it is.
No.
Yeah.
No, right? It's weird.
That's nuts. Well, before we dive into it,
Yes.
we have merch
We do.
and an
Ooh,
Amazon
t-shirts.
wish list. So go to www.bloodymarriedpodcast.com and, support us if you want.
Yeah.
Or you can just support by clicking that old like button, subscribing,
Like,
Comment.
subscribe, share,
Smash that
comment.
bell to get
Yeah.
notifications.
smash that bell, brother. Smash. Scream 7.
Yes.
Um,
So much stuff has happened.
There's a lot to bring people up to date on.
yeah,
A lot of it's kind of old news, but we haven't talked about it.
no. So let's
And
just
the people want to know.
They do.
Let's go back to the beginning with the first thing that happened, I believe, was the firing of Melissa. Correct?
Yeah, she got fired. It was very public, very nasty, and
Yeah.
very very weird to see it like so put out there in the media, and just unfortunate too. That's like, just timeline wise, because there's going to be a lot of hills as we go down all this news.
For sure.
Peaks and valleys, but yeah, like that was nuts because I think everybody wanted the continuation of the new characters. That was
core
like
four.
That was the core four. That was like the whole point of like Scream 6 was about like, hey, we're moving away from the old characters. It's not about Sydney anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked the new characters. And probably even when we did our Scream 5 review, like it was like the best introduction to a new cast, I thought, in a lot of ways. And I never, going into Scream 6 when they announced that Neve Campbell wouldn't be in it, I think a lot of people were bummed. And people are still bummed now, but
Yeah.
in my opinion, like the new cast like took it and ran with it. And I never really missed Sydney. While watching the film, afterwards you kind of wish you would have been in it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I wanted to see these characters or new characters like come in.
Yeah, I think Scream 6, after sitting with it, I didn't need Courtney Cox in it.
Yeah.
I didn't need the
didn't
legacy
either.
characters. I was really into the new characters in the core four, and I was excited to see them go on and do like the final one in their trilogy.
And I think with perspective, I don't think they really served the Gale character in Scream 6 as well.
No, I feel like it was an afterthought.
Oh,
kind
it
of.
totally was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so looking back now that everything's resetting a
Yeah.
bit, it's, I don't know. My excitement for Scream 7 is, or even a new Scream film might be the lowest it's ever been at.
Oh, wow.
Really?
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, like seriously, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I have mixed emotions. But yeah, so going back to the beginning, Melissa got fired. And then shortly after that, it was announced that Jenna Ortega can't do the film because of scheduling conflicts, which that's what everyone was saying.
Yeah.
But I mean, I kind of call bullshit on that. I
Oh,
feel
you
like
have to.
she just quit because her friend got fired. and-
Right.
Well, and there's the logistics of there was a newer thing that came out about Jenna Ortega just recently, but it was probably rumored before. But apparently she wanted more money, and she was worth the money because the success of Scream 6 really had a lot to do with like her star being so big at the time.
Yeah.
Like Wednesday, the TV show had just been out. It was the biggest thing
Right.
in like
It was
the world
huge.
at the time.
Yeah.
And like obviously a lot of the younger audience came out to Scream 6,
Yeah.
and Scream 6 was giant. It was huge.
Yeah.
And yeah, it seems too convenient now for her to say, "Oh, I was never going to do it."
Yeah.
But there is a world where like Scream 7 should have been out by now.
Yeah.
If they had followed the path they originally wanted, it would have been put out in spring 2024.
Yeah, we would have already seen it, and
We'd be
we would have
reviewing
been
it.
we would have been doing our theories on Scream 8 instead of Scream 7.
And
right
Jesse would have predicted the killer
now.
All right,
Exactly.
again.
Yeah. So then she went, and but before that, before anyone got fired, the directors said they weren't going to do this one, and they were bringing in someone that they kind of picked.
That was, and yeah, so
Christopher-
the filmmaking team, Radio Silence,
Yeah.
they left. And then this is all tied up in Melissa leaving and Jenna leaving, and then all of a sudden they bring in Christopher Landon, the Happy Death Day director,
Yeah.
Among some other films. Did he do Freaky?
Freaky.
Yeah.
And the Netflix one with the ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so no, so they had left before, because I remember Christopher Landon tweeted like in the middle of all the Melissa stuff. I remember he just tweeted something that said like everything sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then that was the third thing to happen. The new director of Scream
Yeah.
7 left.
Yeah.
And then news after that, I believe, was they were in talks with Nev Campbell.
Yeah.
And then it was Nev signed on.
Yeah.
And then after that,
And then they say the original writers are still staying on, but then the biggest news was that Christopher Landon's replaced.
yeah, by Kevin Williamson, who's
original,
taking
yeah.
up directing it, and he's one of the reasons why we have Scream. He wrote
Yeah.
the screenplay for the original, and he's wrote screenplays since then and had input to some degree.
Yeah, he definitely. I mean, depending on all the stories, he definitely wrote Scream 2. Although there's been things saying that it got revised heavily.
Yep.
Some of his ideas for Scream 3 were used. He's the only credited writer for Scream 4, but apparently that's been rewritten. That got rewritten. But that was like Scream 4 had like a crazy like production.
Yeah.
Like every Scream movie's been a mess in production, aside from Scream 1 and Scream 2. Maybe even Scream 2 like had some speed bumps
Yeah.
and stuff. Because I think they had a thing where like a script leaked like way on the internet like way early.
I remember
and they
reading
reshot stuff.
that they purposefully leaked a whole bunch of scripts.
Yeah.
So that no one knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But they've all kind of been a mess because Kevin Williamson dropped out of Scream 3, dropped out of Scream 4, was never really apparently a part of Scream 5 or 6, but he gave his blessing for those. He's had a lot of TV shows that he's kind of dropped out of. So, but that's just kind of the business.
Yeah.
Like that just happens. It kind of just shows you like just how crazy the business is if you're really paying attention to it. So it's not necessarily like sounding like it probably sounds like a knock against Kevin Williamson, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's like more crazy news before they even like go into production on the film.
And for the most part, I think that's all the solid news we have. I know I hear or I read that they're talking with Courtney Cox, and she'll more than likely do it. And then Patrick Dempsey is being talked about. But aside from that,
I don't know if anyone's
is there
signed.
more news?
I don't think
I don't
she's the
know.
only one that's signed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they
But
have
it's-
Nev Campbell and
Yeah.
Kevin Williamson, which good or bad. I mean, like it's there from the beginning.
Yeah.
And so they've been along like the whole Kevin Williamson, I'm sure, has many ideas of what to do with Scream.
Right. He created
Yeah.
the world
for
so,
like what 30 years.
right.
And he's had pretty specific thoughts about what Scream 3 should have been. And I think we've talked on previous podcasts that a lot of his ideas for Scream 3 got recycled into the TV series The Following. So yeah, I'd say the one exciting thing that I look forward to is maybe Kevin Williamson is, and it's going to sound like a knock against the films, but maybe he's going to be the guy who actually kind of breaks the mold a little bit. Because I was thinking about this in prep for this podcast, like every Scream is exactly the same film. It's just different like killer sequences and stuff. So maybe, and when Kevin Williamson came back for Scream 4, he did even like kind of play with the expectations with like the twist on the opening
Yeah.
for Scream 4. That
Right.
was fun at the time. I don't know if it holds up as well.
It's annoying.
It's a little annoying. It's a little annoying. But at the time, I remember being in theaters, being like,
At the time, it was fun in the theater
Yeah.
because it was something we hadn't seen.
It was
before.
unexpected, yeah.
Much like how the opening sequence for Scream 6 was fun because it was different.
yeah,
It was
oh,
different
totally.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
But
yeah.
what if they go in a totally different direction? And what if Kevin Williamson's part of that? However, they have said they're using the same script that they had written for Scream 7.
I don't believe that.
But I'm sure it's not. But this is the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Like in a world where there's a formula, like they're just plugging in characters,
Plug and play.
because it's gonna start in whatever town they're at. There's gonna be a killing at the beginning that starts off a mystery, and then it's gonna be a kill every 11.5 minutes
Yeah.
until you get to the end where the killer's revealed. Like the script, even if they look at it and say like, oh hey, like we're just keeping all these kills and they're already building sets for like whatever the kill is, they can plug and play whatever characters. And I
Yeah.
don't want that anymore.
Yeah.
I really don't necessarily want that. But
Yeah.
maybe we're going to get it and it's going to be awesome because that's happened the last 2 times.
That's true.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think it would be?
You.
You.
You over there. That might be my wife. Yes.
For the people listening at home, Jesse, yeah.
What do you think? What are some of your theories for Scream 7, or what would you like to see?
Yeah, Tammy.
What I would like to see is
Yeah,
Sydney.
lady.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
Broad.
you.
Hey, Dame.
Hey, see.
Broad.
I would like to see Sid and Mark McDreamy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that they should do a time jump because I think they have kids. She has kids, so we can get at least a teenager out of that.
Well, that
Little
was one of the rumors that there's going to be a time jump.
And maybe and not just a teenager, but also a littler one, I think.
Yeah.
Because we haven't really had smaller children in the Scream universe yet either. Like little.
The danger of like we're going after kindergartners. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, we're totally going after kindergartners this
The
time.
film starts with a kindergarten teacher getting a call. Could you imagine that? And they're just like, we're going to kill all the kids.
And she's like, "Fuck it, that's fine."
Or
They're
all the
annoying
kids
the
just
shit out of me.
disappear. The kids disappear under the big parachute.
And then they're
Then
gone.
they're just all gone.
Do they
Yeah,
even
that's
play that
awesome.
game anymore?
They do. And they have the roller scooter things too.
Those are hazardous, but
Oh,
also
yeah.
fun. No killing children,
Yeah.
but
But the danger of it.
But the danger of it, and having a younger sibling there as well. And I still want some stew ties. Either I want him to be the fucking mastermind and he's alive,
Yeah.
or part of his family or something, because the last 2 they've had, it was Billy centric because it's his daughter. I don't think they should be springing stew children on us, but like sisters, brother, cousins,
Yeah.
niece, nephews, fucking parents.
What if Stu worked at the sperm bank?
There's lots of little
There's
stews.
a whole bunch
There's
of
a
stews.
whole
And it
bunch
just
of little
starts with
stews.
someone logging into 23andMe. And it's like, you have 18 cousins.
Oh, what was that Vince Vaughn
16
movie
brother.
where he was?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, it was like-
based on a true story where it was
Yeah.
a guy, he had like 23 kids.
Kids or something like that. Yeah. So I think I would, and then it ends with like her setting a trap at her house for them, and then it ends.
Ends like with classic kind of Nightmare on Elm Street Nancy setting traps.
Yeah, I want her
Yeah.
to set some traps and kill some people.
It's just Home Alone.
Yeah, she
Nice.
home
The
alones
kids.
it.
That would be funny. That would be funny.
Just-
What if it was the kids?
The kids are
setting
helping her.
traps.
Like
Yeah.
it's a family affair. We're setting traps for another fucking, like, she thinks she's fine now. Like, we've moved on.
Yeah.
I'm safe. I moved with my family. No one's been after me in a while. It ended with New York, whatever. And then boom.
Well, yeah, you get into the thing of
Stu's been in
How
a coma
many
for the
times-
last 30 years and he wakes up.
how many times can a ghost face come after her?
Right.
You know, like how many movies until that's played out?
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're gonna go after her, it has to be related to Stu, because why else would you go after her?
If only we haven't said this 3 times.
I'm just saying.
Well,
yeah.
Go back to, I mean, you could just go back to the beginning. It's all about family. You could just tie back into with her mother, her father. It could go back to some original stuff.
She has a long lost sister.
Yeah, now we're getting into silliness, right?
Now we're getting into soap opera.
Yeah, well, I don't know. What do you want to see out of Scream 7? Like, if it's something different, do you? We've had this
what do you
before.
want?
Do you want a different, or do you want a Scream movie?
I always say I want different, and then we get the exact same thing, but we really like it.
Yeah.
And I still really like it. I'm just a sucker for him.
Yeah.
So
me too.
So my fear is that we're gonna get the Scream movie that we all really hate.
Yeah.
It's got to happen sooner or later.
That's true.
Like, the franchise has gone on for a long time. I'd be very sad.
Yeah.
But my when I said earlier my expectations haven't been lower for a film, it's just because of a lot of the back and forth. And you know, I think I wanted an ending for Sydney. So maybe the one thing that would help in Scream 7 if there's a definitive ending for her.
Yeah.
I think she deserves it. And I also think like maybe the fans don't really care about Sydney as much. Like, I love the franchise, but I don't know. It just it does go back to that thing of logistically, like, how long can there be any danger for Sydney?
Yeah.
Right.
When Scream 4 came out, I think everybody thought she was gonna die.
Yeah.
And the original ending for it was gonna be like basically she died. And then the follow-up that Kevin Williamson had done a treatment for was that she was in a coma at the beginning of Scream 5. So that was like a whole thing they did, but they never did that sequel.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I'd like to see some stakes again.
Yeah. Well, and too, like, your younger audience attached to the younger actors we had for 5 and 6, they're with Jenna Ortega and Melissa and the other actors. Like, that's what the youth can connect with, is those younger characters. Yeah. And you could say that a lot of the audience doesn't connect with Neve Campbell because she's older, and so what you're going to have to do is reintroduce another teen cast and make you like those people.
So we get our third new teen cast in the series.
I mean, they're going to have to do that, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, if Scream 6 was about franchises, could Scream 7 be about franchise fatigue? And maybe, maybe that's something needed, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's of the moment to comment on, and I would hope that, you know, I would believe in Kevin Williamson being the person to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I mean,
Scream in space?
I imagine if you have Kevin Williamson and you have Neve Campbell, you would think that they would surround themselves with like the best crew, the best writers, someone to help these people like elevate whatever they're doing like the best it could be because of their names. Because Kevin Williamson is a legend in the Scream universe.
Yeah.
It would suck for the production company if the name of the franchise tanked the franchise.
No, that's true. Yeah.
So you would imagine they have a lot of help and they have a lot of people.
You'd hope so, but it seems like they've kind of fumbled the ball on this movie a lot.
Yeah.
Because I mean, not to get political in any ways, because I have no expertise on the stuff Melissa Barrera had like commented on.
Me either.
And we're not going to solve it in this podcast whatsoever. But you know, I would say that had her comments come out 6 or 7 months later, I think there'd be a very different public reaction to it. And so it's just really kind of unfortunate to have any kind of that strong of reaction.
Yeah.
But the reality might have been that, you know, at the end of the day, maybe her and Jenna Ortega just wanted more money, and they deserve it.
Yeah.
And maybe the production, typically when that stuff happens, like the productions are like actively like looking for a reason not to bring people back, because I mean there's controversies with actors all the time, and they're still working,
right?
You know, so it's really probably about money more than anything else.
Which is lame.
But I would think that they would be worth it, because Jenna Ortega is one of the hottest actresses, the hottest ticket in Hollywood, and like, why wouldn't you wait for her schedule? If that was true, give her the more money. But that was Nev's thing too. She wanted more money to be in Scream 6, and they said no.
Yeah.
But
I think it probably comes down to a formula of like, we only want to spend, if you're the producers, you only want to spend $25 million on a Scream movie because you know it's going to at least make 80 to $100 million. And like, even if it doesn't do as well and it makes 50 or 40, it's like you're still in profit. And to give anyone an extra 5 million probably just sucks. And like the world with streaming and like physical media and stuff is all like a mess. Nobody knows what's going on. So from a business standpoint, it probably only makes sense on the books. But nobody's ever really thinking that far down the head because producers in Hollywood are always like going from job to job to job. So they just have to make the decision that's in front of them at that time.
Well, what the hot thing now is AI is writing scripts and taking script jobs and writing television shows. So maybe AI is after.
I mean, I don't know if it's done one yet that we know of, but I feel like with AI, again, we won't solve it on this, but I feel like AI is like, it's like a, what's it called? It's more of a, people are trying to sell software. I don't think so. Like, it's very easy to sell software or a program if you're saying it can do these things. I don't.
But can it actually do these things?
Like, I think the Crow director, Alex Proyas, put out a trailer for an AI-made movie. Did either of you see that? Well, I don't know if anybody saw it because it looks terrible. Like, so it just looks like the still images where it's all just like the big glow behind the person and they have giant boobs and the face of Emma Stone and stuff like that. It's like, that's what all that AI art looks like.
Right.
Like, it's speculation. I think that's what it is because people are trying to like sell software. Ashton Kutcher made this big statement the other day saying, "Oh, all our movies very soon are going to be AI created." Guess what? Ashton Kutcher owns.
AI.
He owns he's invested in a software company that makes AI.
Yeah. So then do we get like, so if we're doing like that 90s show and then we have an AI generated Danny Masterson, is that problematic or is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. It's still problematic.
Okay,
Yeah.
Right. Just wondering.
He's in jail.
So that's a good segue.
Hyde is in jail.
Yeah. I just wonder if AI is just like the Meta headset. Does anybody own like a MetaQuest headset?
No.
Has anybody watched their like movies on MetaQuest?
No.
Or the whatever, the Quest 2 or
No.
I don't know. Like, but that's like like, remember how hard they pushed that like 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Like everybody was like, you're going to have all your meetings in Meta.
No.
Like you're going to put on the headset and everybody's going to look at like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think where AI is going to be is like, AI is definitely going to replace, like, if you're making a movie and you have to like have someone outside, but you're doing like a blue screen or a green screen. Beforehand, you had to send a camera crew out to like
map the area.
Yeah, get clouds, get a shot of clouds, get a shot of like the road. Like you literally just drove down a road with a camera and just shot like the outside so you could put people driving in a car. I think now you're just going to say, you're going to be able to like create like a loop of people driving and stuff like that. I don't think it's going to be.
I don't think it will because you can't really replace.
It could be a plot inside of the Scream 7 film is what I'm talking about.
Really?
Yeah.
You know how I feel about this.
What if it starts with someone putting on the Meta headset and then they get chased by Ghostface? Yeah. Or it ends with like Nev like saving the day and killing like her twin sister and all this stuff, and then it shows Stu taking off the headset and he's in jail.
And that was just his virtual reality keeping himself entertained.
It could be.
Well,
hey, why not?
I mean, I think it's kind of like what we talked about. I think that I think it's the safe bet is that it's Nev Campbell and I think it's Patrick Dempsey. They're the parents.
Yeah.
And then they have kids that are in high school, and that's your new cast. And Ghostface killings start happening, and that's your thing. I don't know what the plot or twist would be, but I feel like that's the safe route.
Yeah.
You know, for sure. And Patrick Dempsey, was in Thanksgiving, so he's making a little comeback. He would be if he hopped back on this.
He was back on Grey's Anatomy.
Was he?
A couple of seasons
ago. Didn't he die?
He was a ghost.
Spoiler.
My wife
dead.
My wife watches it. I watched it because I was like, oh man, McDreamy's back.
I stopped watching it when he died. I was like, well, there's no more point in this show anymore.
I've only seen the craziest episodes.
Yeah.
Where they're like lost in the woods and stuff.
That one was their plane crash.
Yeah.
That was traumatic, yeah.
yeah. Anyways.
Thanks for watching our Grey's Anatomy cast.
Yeah.
Tune in next week when we review season 26.
Do you think there's a world where they shoot Scream 7 and then there's a reveal at the end where Sam or Tara make a cameo?
I don't think so now, but I also say but here's the thing, actually. I would say it's as good of a chance for that as there is a chance for Scream 7 not to even happen. I think there's a legit thing that we like. It kind of gets canceled.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
That would be sad. Yeah.
Because they just can't pull it together, right?
It might happen again in 5 years.
Yeah.
But they've also kind of lost the momentum.
They did.
You know?
When they fired Melissa, they really did.
Yeah, they stumbled.
Like,
They were,
that train was moving, and then
we were getting one a year, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it seemed like everyone was game, at least with like the young cast,
Yeah.
and the creators and the directors, and yeah, they did. They lost their momentum. Do you think Skeet Ulrich returns in Ghost Billy, or do you think something like that happens again? Do you think they get rid of that shtick and they're doing new stuff? Is it back to basics?
I think whatever it is, it's gonna. I really hope. I don't know if I can think because historically it's always the same movie.
Yeah.
But I really hope that there's like a twist that's apparent right away.
Yeah.
Like I can't tell you exactly what it is, but maybe to get me in again, like as excited as I was for 5 and 6, they have to do something kind of special. They got to announce something pretty special.
yeah.
Because if it's just Sydney has to come back to Woodsboro one last time,
Yeah.
when
not.
a mystery killing draws Sydney back in, it's like, okay, all right, that was the plot of every Scream movie.
And she's literally like,
Well-
fuck you, I'm not coming.
well,
Figure it out
yeah.
yourself.
What drew him in
Figure it out
last
yourself.
time was, spoiler for Scream 5, that Dewey died. That's why they came back.
That's true, yeah.
Right? So, like, you can't be like, Courtney Cox died, she's got to come back. Well, do you think that they are going to be in Woodsboro again? Or do you think,
No.
because she lives somewhere else with her
She
husband?
lives far
and-
the fuck away from
Yeah,
Woodsboro.
And I don't think they said where, but she doesn't live anywhere near that. We were in New York. Are we going to be in a new location? Or are we going to go back to Woodsboro?
There's no reason to go to New York necessarily because
Yeah.
all the other characters were just there for college.
Yeah.
And if you do a time jump, then
It doesn't matter.
that doesn't matter. I think we're in a new location. She's not going back to Woodsboro. Like, I just don't think she's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Figure it out yourselves.
Well, and they also did that. That was the whole point of Scream 4 was back to Woodsboro.
Yeah.
Because that was Kevin Williamson's Scream 3 was back to Woodsboro also.
You know how I want to see if they do back to Woodsboro, wherever the new location is. I think at the end of the second act, beginning of the third act, they get kidnapped, whoever it is.
Yeah.
And the hoods get pulled off and sits back in her old house.
And
Yeah.
she's like,
Oh, yeah.
motherfuck.
Oh, totally, yeah.
And like, that's like, what the fuck you doing
We
here?
brought
What
you
kind
back
of
here.
reveal
And
is
she's
this?
like, God damn it. I said I was never
yeah.
coming back.
That would be the only way, or her children are there for some reason. But you forget too, you're in a world where everyone knows about these killings. There's
Yeah.
100 the stab movies, and that was like a lot of the Scream 5 and 6 plots, where Scream 5 was they wanted to reboot the franchise and make stab better, right?
yeah.
Is there anything in our real world, it doesn't even have to be like murder related, but is there anything in our real world where someone has become so famous that everyone knows them like this? I mean, I guess you could say like O.J. Simpson in some way, but he was famous already. But or maybe like Tanya Harding and
What about like Casey Anthony when
Casey
she killed her
Anthony,
daughter,
yeah.
but not killed her, like that whole
Right.
deal?
yeah.
Like,
like the-
killers that are famous that
Well,
got
it's
away
like,
with
or
it.
even just someone who something happened to them and they just became like one of the most recognizable people because of just something that just happened. to
Yeah,
them.
they're not like, they're just a regular person.
Like even if
and
you're O.J.
something
Simpson,
happened.
you're the killer, you know,
Yeah.
or I don't know. I'm curious because you could almost like find what that story is and see like if there's something that the Scream franchise hasn't tapped into.
Yeah.
With.
You know, they haven't. Well, they kind of did, but you could do all found footage.
Yeah.
I mean, bring back found footage. Do all found footage Scream film. That'd be weird.
That would be weird.
I don't think
How would
do
they do that?
Yeah.
Or a Scream film all in one location, at least.
Yeah.
It's all inside a house.
I've always
or a
wanted
building.
another Scream movie to take place during the wintertime. I think that'd be
Yeah.
a lot of fun. But I say that like with most franchises. Like I want a
Want a
Friday the
winter-
13th in the winter. I want Evil Dead in the dead of winter. I think that's just a fun
Yeah.
setting that like these franchises they don't. I don't even think Nightmare on Elm Street did wintertime.
I don't think that. Yeah, not at all.
Dude, the dead of winter. See, like the breath coming from Ghostface mask.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
That's true.
Some icicle kills.
Mm.
Yeah.
All icicle kills.
Yeah,
All-
does Kirby return? Like, we're talking about people coming back to franchises. Who are you going to put your cards on that someone shows up? Say you have Nev and you have Courtney Cox and you have Patrick Dempsey. Who else do you think they'd bring in? Who do we got left?
I mean, Kirby's fun.
Yeah.
I think they could have done. There's still room to do a lot more with Kirby.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a big cameo for Scream 6.
Yeah.
There's a little bit where she was like a red herring briefly.
She could be the killer.
She could be the killer.
She snaps.
Yeah.
I mean, PTSD, man.
Yeah.
That's true. They didn't really do too much with her in Scream 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Who do you think? Who do you think they could bring back? I like the idea.
Cameraman from part 2.
Yeah, yes.
I think
One
I
that
wanted
was
that
like,
before.
Fuck
Yeah.
out, I'm out.
That would be perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like. I think it'd be a lot of fun if Cotton Weary came back, even though I think
he's
he's pretty
dead.
definitively dead. But
Well,
I know
He's
when they go to
dead,
stab him, it
cuts away. It
to the
cuts away.
title sequence.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think
It's a
you don't see
stretch.
it. You don't see a killing blow at all.
Yeah.
It's really like the knife's up in the air and it comes down.
Yeah.
And they just kind of say Cotton's dead.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible. But I guess I kind of look at it like anyone who's a casual fan of the series, I don't know if they're really thinking about Cotton as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that could have been the same for Kirby though. If you're a casual fan,
Yeah,
who
that's
the,
true.
Who the fuck is Kirby?
Yeah. But then she doesn't really do anything
Yeah.
aside from she's just. They establish quickly oh, you're an FBI agent and
Yeah.
you were one of the victims
What if
or
they're
one of the attackees.
What if Scream 7 does, I think it was what Saw 4 or 5 did, where the reveal is Scream 7 takes place in tandem with Scream 6.
That'd be really cool. Oh, because then you could have Kirby.
Oh.
Kirby could be on a whole other different adventure.
Yeah.
It could be called Kirby in Adventureland.
Scream 7, Kirby's Adventures.
Where there, I don't know how you connect it, but the idea that you realize the timeline isn't what you think it is,
Yeah.
is interesting,
Yeah.
and maybe
Yeah.
it takes place between 4 and 5. It
Yeah.
takes place between 5 and 6.
Yeah. That would be exciting. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. There has to be something to it. I know we're gonna go back and it's just gonna be a straight out Scream movie. Nothing's gonna change. We're gonna be it was awesome. 5 stars.
Yeah, I know. Every time we do a review, it's the best movie ever.
It's so
But
good.
they're good. They're entertaining. That's what I like about the heart of Scream movies is they are just entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
And even though they kind of have the same beats, I love the killer reveals.
Yeah.
I love the kills. I love being with the characters that you care about. So if just at a basic level, if they give us that, I'll still be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though it's, how many times can she survive?
Yeah.
Maybe they kill her. Do they kill her off?
I mean, that's the thing everybody always talks about.
Do
And that
they
would be
actually kill her off this time?
they either kill her in the beginning or they reveal she's the killer in the beginning.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like Kevin Williamson would have her be the killer.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd have her be the killer,
I think he
but-
really cares about the Sydney killer.
Yeah.
Or Sydney character.
Yeah, and the one other unique thing about this franchise is it's not like a Ghostface is someone different pretty much all the time. It's not like
Yeah.
a Myers or a Freddy of we are finally killing them.
Yeah.
There's no definitive killing of Ghostface. You can't definitively just because it's always someone different with a different
Right, because
motive.
anyone can pick up that mask,
Yeah.
put it
So-
on.
So
And
here,
kill people.
this could be the thing they could reveal. Why do the characters call the killer Ghostface? So the character is never called Ghostface until Scream 4 when Kirby calls the character Ghostface. No,
Really?
in Scream 1, 2, and 3, the killer is never called Ghostface. Except what happens is when Tatum's being killed, she says, "Oh, what are you doing,
Mr.
Mr. Ghostface?"
Right.
But she dies. Right? So there's room to reveal how the word Ghostface came out. Because in Scream 1, 2, and 3, they only say the killer.
Yeah.
And Ghostface wasn't in the script. I've always heard that the character was in the first film was called Father Death on the script.
Huh. Weird.
Right? And then it wasn't until they made like an action figure of the character in like 2007 that they actually titled
Labeled
the
it
character
Ghostface.
Ghostface.
It's just
Interesting.
society gave that character a nickname.
Yeah.
It was just what happened in culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no one I never remember calling the character Ghostface.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't recall.
Yeah. It happened like almost a decade after Scream 3.
I feel like it happened with merchandising.
Yeah,
Like,
it did.
Yeah.
It had to have,
Yeah, for sure.
What if in the world it doesn't have anything to do with Sydney and they're just someone picked up a Ghostface mask because they're fans of Stab
Yeah.
and they just start killing people and then they go to Sydney because like she's, she knows some things and like she could be an informant because her husband is a cop. I'm assuming he's still a cop somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then it's just nothing to do with Sydney at all.
Yeah.
Totally disconnected. It just happens to be in the same place where she lives. And someone
she's
just picks up a stab mask
She's
and
just
they're
good
like...
at killing Ghostface.
And she's just good at it.
Yeah.
And she's like...
Who you gonna call?
Yeah.
Sydney.
How many
Prescott.
people has Sydney killed by now? She's killed at least 3 or 4 people, right?
You're gonna make me think real time. She killed
She kills Billy.
Billy.
She kills Stu.
She did the final blow with Stu.
Well, no, but does she kill Billy?
No, Gail
Or does-
Gail
shoots
did
him in
the
the head.
final-
Shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
Gail shoots him
Okay,
in the
so
head.
So
she
one
kills,
person.
She kills Stu.
Supposedly.
Allegedly kills you.
She
Allegedly. So far.
Her
she
brother.
hasn't
Yeah.
really killed anyone.
Does she kill? No, but does Dewey kill her brother? Dewey kills Roman. The head, Dewey, the head, and then he shoots him in the head in Scream 3.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
So
yeah.
in
Because you
Scream-
think he's dead and
Yeah.
they hold hands.
Scream 2, Debbie Salt kills Mickey, and then how does Debbie die? Does Gail kill Debbie?
No, I think
does-
Sydney actually kills Debbie.
Does Sydney shoot her in the head?
I think she
in
does.
my head, like, I don't know if it happened, but Nev Campbell and Courtney, they both unload their guns into a character.
Into Mickey.
Mickey?
Mickey comes back at the end, and then they unload him into him. So maybe Mickey does count. And then, but I don't know who. So
I feel like Sydney did kill Debbie
because
because
she like double taps her in the head.
yeah, because it was like her son. She, like
okay, yeah.
that whole deal.
But I remember it's that thing where like she's gonna like they say that the killer always comes back and she goes like real
Right.
quick.
Yeah.
But I don't know who's holding the gun. If it's
Yeah.
Gail or if it's
Well, she's
Sydney.
killed a decent amount of people. And
She killed her cousin.
She's critically.
Allegedly.
She's critically.
well,
yeah,
she
she
fell
did,
out.
she does,
She
she
did.
does.
Yeah.
She,
Yeah.
so
And
Yeah.
then does she kill is it Amber? Does she kill Amber? They put the lighter
Right.
the
Was it a group
or
effort?
was it a group
it's
effort?
her and
her and Gail. I think
Gail.
it's a group
Yeah.
They
effort.
pour the stuff on her. They pour
No,
the
because she
hand
comes out
sanitizer.
on fire
And then
or
somebody
still
shoots her.
and someone shoots her. So
Yeah. I
I
can't
don't.
remember.
I can't
I
remember
know
if
it's like killer
it's not
semantics.
Gail.
Like
It was Gail because she killed Dewey,
Yeah.
and so Sydney was like, "This is one's for you,"
Yeah.
and she's like,
This one's
Sydney's pretty comfortable killing people.
"Sydney is."
She really doesn't like have like a lot of trauma.
She had to get used to it though.
Yeah. What if she likes it? What if like Scream 7's like just like this really deep psychological thriller where she's just like I like killing.
I'm game.
I haven't killed in 7 years now.
That'd be
I'm
awesome.
itching.
Yeah.
I'm just itching to shoot someone in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's just tying people up on her property.
that's rad.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, my pitch, I think I've told you guys off screen, but I think what would be really fun, unique, different but not, you start the film with Stu being released from prison, and then killings start happening, so everyone thinks it's Stu killing people. And then whatever happens in the middle is just kind of your classic Scream thing, but then your reveal is that he is not the killer, and then he ends up saving Sydney at the end, and maybe in turn sacrificing himself. So you get a full Stu
Character arc.
and then also maybe a brief it doesn't even have to be a spoken thing, but like a look between Sid and Stu of like forgiveness.
Yeah.
And that would be the movie I'd pitch. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would fly, but I think
Enemies to lovers.
yeah,
Story.
enemies to lovers. Well, they're not. I mean, they could be.
They could be.
What if Sydney has a Billy child that we don't know about?
That'd be a stretch because she would have had to have like had that kid right before Scream 2 started.
Yeah.
And then really she would have done the same thing her mother did. So maybe it's possible.
Yeah.
Gave her up for adoption, never spoke of it again.
What if what if that's like the coming back to the origins of like the mother and her stuff? What if she's more like her mother than she thought, and maybe that was a thing where she abandoned her son or
history repeating itself.
I don't think Kevin Williamson likes that Scream 3 story.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think he said some things like he kind of accepts that that's the story, but he never liked the brother storyline.
No.
Dang.
Because he had like a whole different pitch for what was supposed to be his Scream 3.
Huh.
But they haven't ignored it, but they also haven't really there hasn't been any references. Well, Roman gets one quick reference in Scream 6 where they say he was the only single
killer.
Yeah.
Oh, do we think that in Scream 7 it's just a carryover from the villains and the villains' motives from 5 and 6?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think it's like that family still?
the grandparents?
They're all dead though, right?
What the
Well,
mom?
there could be.
The mom.
What happened to the mother?
Their mother.
Dermot Mulberry.
Dermot,
and then his children.
Dingleberry.
Where was the mother of those children?
I don't know if it said.
Yeah.
But then why would she go after Sydney when she wanted to go after Melissa?
Just they'll be a fun lead.
Yeah.
Melissa got fired, so I have to kill you now.
I can't find her, but I found you.
Well, who did? Okay, so in these new ones, Nev helped kill the flaming
Amber.
girl.
Yeah.
So there's Amber's
So
parents.
Amber would have family.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it just has to be. I
Who
think
lived in this house?
what would actually be scary is if it's just like a random murderer who doesn't have like any motives.
Well, it was kind of like the intro to Scream 6, right? That guy didn't really have any ties with anybody.
Yeah.
He was just killing because it was cool.
Yeah.
And
Well,
wanted
they
to
were
be
friends with Richie,
Yeah.
and they wanted to help finish his movie.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
But it could just be someone who was like a fan of Stab and woke up one day and was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I want to start killing people.
I don't know. I feel like the fan thing though is kind of played out. Like they're,
totally.
Right.
You know, from 5 and 6, like we're fans. We're making a movie.
Right.
Yeah.
My insides want it to go back to a basic thing.
If it's about franchise fatigue, it could be someone at the studio who's trying to reinvent, trying to continue the franchise for like the future Stab films. So
Yeah.
he's trying to reinvent something
So we're having
I
a
like
killing to like
just to like mix things up.
get things going
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Huh. What?
Gail snaps. Gail's the killer.
Yeah, I mean that's I have a hard time seeing our like two survivors snapping and be.
I don't think so. I
Unless
think if
they're,
someone
like-
snaps, it's Kirby. If we're gonna get
Yeah.
a legacy killer, it's gonna be Kirby.
We've also like talked about a legacy killer since Scream 3. Like just like within fandom, everybody's been like, well, what if Dewey's the killer?
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be unexpected, but it's like, well, if you saw it, you'd be like, okay, we've predicted that 8 times.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we predicted that Dewey was the killer in Scream 6.
Yeah.
That might have been one of my predictions.
it was, yeah. Or that he's still alive.
Yeah.
Also, he could still be alive. I'm going to stick with that. Like, those wounds were pretty bad, but he could still be alive.
Totally. He totally
I mean, look
could.
at how many times Chad got stabbed.
A lot. Like he got stabbed more than 50 Cent.
Yeah, and he was still alive.
Yeah.
So, that's a good one. So, Chad and what was the other?
Mindy.
Do you think they come back?
They've said publicly that no one's even contacted them for the film.
Yeah, I think I saw on that guy's Twitter that he's something along the lines of, I haven't heard anything.
Yeah. I also feel like you never really hear the true story until but like 20 years later.
Right.
You know, so like maybe some point in 2041 we'll find out what really happened behind the scenes.
Is there a world where 7 happens, people are like, yeah, it's not so bad. Okay, let's make an 8. And then they're like, okay, now we need to bring back and close out their trilogy.
Yeah, they have to.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
They'd be stupid not to. I don't know.
Yeah. some times pass and like changing of the guards at the studio. I
Yeah.
think you wait for a couple people to leave and a couple people to come back. And they're like, hey, we're running this place now. We were sorry about all that. Come on back.
Yeah.
So I did forget one other piece of news is that Paramount merged with Skydance Entertainment.
Okay.
So there's like a merger happening within Paramount now. So there's two things that could happen. There's motivation to get their big franchises going again, but there's also like if they don't value Scream, there's also like they might just get pushed to the side because like, oh, this is too much trouble or whatever.
But doesn't it make money?
Oh no,
They always
does.
make money.
Isn't it
So I
just come
feel
down
like-
to like whatever trouble it causes, as long as it makes us money? Let's just let them cause their ruckus over here.
Yeah,
Because you
But I
know
think-
you're gonna get at least
Yeah.
a little your money back, if not a little bit more.
but then it comes down to like, are they thinking? They look at all their franchises, like yes, it does make money, but do they say, okay, well we have Top Gun and we have Shrek and we have whatever else, like literally like do they say, okay, well we know these are going to make 200 million and Scream's going to make 100 million?
Yeah.
Like I don't know what happens with priority shuffle type things, and it might literally just be like whoever is like taking up some sort of executive production job, they might just be like, well, I don't like horror movies, or oh hey,
Well,
like
if they cancel it now, wouldn't they already lose money? I imagine if Nev Campbell said she was doing it, that if like it gets canceled, that she just gets that money no matter what.
she probably has some sort of pay or play thing, but you also just like I don't know, Hollywood contracts. Nobody
Weird.
knows.
It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guarantee Courtney Cox will come back if they want her to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they don't, because her face is weird, and
That would be one we could kill.
we could just get rid of Gail.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
Maybe her character wasn't the best in Scream 6, but it was cool. Like she still had a cool like fight scene.
She had a
Yeah.
cool fight scene that was
a standout.
fun.
The best thing about Scream 6 is all like the kill sequences are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or give her just words and a story to chew on, because the fact that Dewey died and it didn't really seem to affect her much in Scream 6.
Yeah. that
Well,
was a bummer.
because she ended 5 like, I'm not going to write a book, and then she wrote a fucking
Then
book.
She wrote the book, which I get. It's what her character does after like almost every
I know, but like,
everything.
Well, that might have been because originally Sydney was in the Scream 6 script, and if they took her out, there could have been all sorts of things that were left out that her and like maybe her and Gail had their own little subplot that then got like canceled because of it.
right.
I'd rather them like use the character well than
not use
have
her.
it in there.
Yeah.
But if Sydney's coming back, there's room to like, I don't know, maybe the movie can be about something more than just them on the run from a killer too.
Yeah.
Like that's what would excite me. If there's like another story that's happening that's not just like a plot device.
Yeah. Well, when's the last time like she's been the star of the film? She was a star of like 1 and 2.
Courtney?
No,
Sydney?
Sydney. Like she
Yeah.
wasn't really the star of 5 or 6, and she wasn't the star
She wasn't the
3.
star
of 4.
4.
So much.
Not really.
She
I mean,
was
it's-
when she came back.
Yeah, I mean, Sydney had an important part, but they were trying to like pass the baton a little bit in 4 and
Right.
then in 5, and I think it happened a little better in 5 than 4.
Mm.
But really, like once Sydney's back in 4, the movie's all about Sydney.
Yeah.
And that was a detriment to that cast
Mm-hmm.
because Sydney in Scream 5 was a lesser kind of role.
right.
yeah.
She
But
just
what-
popped in towards
Yeah.
the end. To
But
like,
once Sydney and Gail are like on the track of the killer and they're going to the school and like interviewing the kids in Scream 4, like then it's all Sydney's movie.
Yeah.
I
Right.
definitely didn't care about Jill as much.
Yeah.
Or even Kirby as much.
Yeah.
It always seemed like they'd have their party at the house and you're just like, when's Sid gonna get here?
yeah.
We just need to get our hands on the script that they got. We got some
Could you
connections.
imagine? Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be awesome.
That'd be cool. Yeah. I don't know. Any other predictions or things you want to talk about? Theories with Scream 7?
I don't
Do you
think so.
it's gonna
Not
have
me.
you think it's gonna have a subtitle?
No.
No, just Scream 7.
Yeah. Unless
Well,
it's
well,
like,
like because Scream,
Scream
5,
7, The New Blood.
because Scream 5 was Scream,
Yeah.
and now like everyone calls it Scream 5.
Oh yeah, I always called it Scream 5. It was stupid to call it Scream.
It
Yeah.
was stupid to call it Scream. It's fucking Scream
But that's
5.
that's what it's called. It's called Scream.
Yeah, but only on like posters. I think I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well,
Who
because it
knows?
wasn't that
Well,
like
it's part of the theme too, of like
theme, yeah.
rebooting the
rebooting
franchise.
franchises. Because there's other franchises where they're like, and it's back to
Yeah.
this. I mean, like
Yeah.
that. We already have that title of a fucking movie, guys.
Yeah.
In the same thing, like.
Yeah. Are we gonna get a new Ghostface mask? Are we gonna, because of the Scream series, they had a different mask. Are we gonna get?
I like that Scream 6 was about the masks. That was kind of cool.
That was
That
sick.
was
Yeah.
fun.
I'm up for something different. I'm up for like the killer being something different, and then at the very end he like earns the mask.
That's
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
All these are great ideas. It won't happen.
And hopefully we'll get a movie so we can come back to this and be
Yes.
like, all right, what did we predict
Yeah.
and what did we
Well,
not?
as soon as we get a trailer, we will do a podcast.
Oh,
and talk
absolutely.
About the trailer. So they're still in pre-production.
We could be I don't even know if they have a start date.
This time next year.
So
That we might
We'll
not
get
get
a
a trailer
trailer.
for a year.
best case scenario, they shoot end of summer, they shoot through the fall, and we get a trailer for like Christmas.
Yeah, that'd be
Best case scenario, right?
Yeah, I mean, because the earliest they'd probably put it out would be like April or March of 2025.
Yeah.
Cool.
Unless they're just like crazy and they're like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you ever hear about that new Hellboy movie that they made in secret? Every so often they do those movies.
Secret Hellboy
Well, no,
movie?
every so often they make those movies just to retain the rights. What if they made a Scream movie just to retain the rights? That was like the Hellraiser movies too.
Yeah.
What if Scream 7 is about making a movie to retain the rights? that would be brilliant.
That'd be cool.
But they've done these things every so often. Like in order to keep the Hellraiser rights, they had to make a movie. So they famously, I think it was like started with Hellraiser 5 or 6. The director Scott Derrickson, they just said, you have $200,000 to make a Hellraiser movie. You have to use this script that was written for something else. You just have to put Pinhead in like 3 scenes, and it has to be made in like 4 months or whatever, something crazy it was, and they just had to do it. Yeah.
Which one was that?
I want to say it was 5. It was whatever one Scott Derrickson directed. It's supposed to be really good. Are they all here?
No, I got a couple of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen most of them. I don't think I've seen I saw the remake, and then I didn't see the last 2 before the remake. I saw the one with the guy who was in Nightbreed. I forget his name. Anyway, sidetracked.
Yeah.
Scream 7. I hope it happens, and I hope it's good. I hope we're surprised, but also we just get a Scream movie, right? I
Yeah.
hope they do some cool stuff and some fun reveals. I hope that the killers aren't predictable with the casting they do. I don't know. I just hope it gets made.
They better.
Just please,
I want to
please
be on the
make it.
podcast again. Or let's do an Elm Street movie.
Yeah.
Something for me to do.
We do need a new Elm Street movie
Yeah.
because it's been so long since
We do.
we got because the other one does not count.
No, it doesn't. Well,
What other one? What other one? are you
Yeah,
talking
exactly.
about?
I
have
don't know.
No idea.
It was like a Mandela effect. Like it was
Oh,
there,
yeah.
but it never happened.
Yeah.
Never heard
Happened,
of it.
never.
So people watching and listening, what are your Scream 7 theories? What do you think is going to happen? What do you want to see happen? What do you think about Melissa and Jenna Ortega getting the can and Nev Campbell taking up the starring role?
Right.
Let
Are
us-
you excited? Is your bar high, or you're just like, meh? It's pretty low. We'll
Yeah.
see what happens.
Or is it like Sean here, where you're not excited
no
at all?
expectations, not excited.
You're
Yeah.
gonna walk in
Yeah.
there, just stone faced, be like, whatever, whatever, man,
Yeah.
whatever, brother, roll it.
Yeah.
You're not even gonna go into the good theater. You're just
Jesus,
gonna go
take
into
the
the
wheel.
into the regular theater.
Yeah.
Normal sound for this one. I don't
right.
care. I don't care at all.
See it at the drive-in.
Yeah.
Wait till it gets to the Garland.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you can
Anyways.
find parking.
Yeah. Okay. Inside joke. We were just talking about.
never
we're
mind.
talking about logistics of parking around like theaters.
Yeah. Which sucks.
These are the real deals.
Yeah. Anyways,
Our Bloody Marys are dead.
Scream
and so
7.
are we.
Sean,
Yeah.
This guy over here.
what up?
Hey, you.
Who are you?
Hey you.
This broad.
That's broad.
Silly lady.
Yeah.
All right. Catch you next time,
All right.
fuckers.
Bye bye.
Yeah.